Y'all, what Kris Jenner just proved to Corey Gamble that she is the illest and realest to ever do it. Y'all, these reports can't be believed. Baby, Kris ain't made Kim and her limited talented self into a billionaire just off of wishes and hopes and prayers, baby. That was skill, that was determination, and that was ruthlessness, and that's what Corey is finding out. Okay, so if you guys don't know, let me bring you up to speed really quick on what's going on between Kris and Corey Gamble, okay? The internet's been aflutter in the fact that Corey feels like Kris don't appreciate him. Kris is probably looking at Corey like, it's not that I don't appreciate you, I just don't like you anymore. I got a 35-year-old face. I don't like your 44-year-old body. Can you please move so I can get a 25-year-old man? And baby, you remember that episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians when Kris was pushing up on Brody Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner's son, talking about some, ooh, you got a back as wide as your daddy's. And Brody was like, Kris like him. Baby, she like him built. Look like she like him young, right? Legally appropriately young, but she like him young. Anyway, now that Kris got a new face, she's working on a new body, she's like, why do I need you? The point of being a boy toy is because it's supposed to be something I like to play around with, baby. No, the only thing we playing on now is whether you are going to start using my Weight Watcher points for your dinner. Let's not act like Corey has not let himself go a little bit. Again, you know how it is when you built like a brick house, right? You put on 10, 15 pounds, it's sexy. You get to 30, 40. Corey, them silk shorts are not supposed to fit that wide, that tight against your hips. Anyway, right? So Corey thought he found a way out. He said, oh, you're not just going to throw me away. I'm not going anywhere unless you pay me. Kris Jenner is like, why I got to pay you? Corey was like, you got to pay me or I'm going to tell everybody what I know about you. Kris said, all right, bet, plan B. How about I make you so miserable you don't know what to do? What started off as Corey allegedly demanding a payout to leave quietly has turned into Corey kind of being trapped in a relationship where Kris is ignoring him. She is humiliating him. She is cutting his access off to all her perks and putting the word out like, yo, he ain't cool, if you can believe the reports. And Corey literally seems like he painted himself into a corner because he wasn't ready to go. Kris don't look like she's coming off that money. And now they are saying that Corey is begging Kris to put out a statement in public that they are fine. He is begging Kris to show up for a photo op to prove they are fine. He is begging Kris to not let him think that people think that he's been cast out of heaven so that he can use the connections to jump into another job, I would say to jump into another woman, but I don't know, right? To jump into whatever. You guys sit down because this is the plot twist I didn't see. Because again, if these reports can be believed, just think about it. Corey thought he was going to strong arm Kris into giving him a massive payout. Kris said, you must not know who I am, right? When that didn't work, Corey realized he still needed to get a job. How does Corey get a job? By using all of the Kardashians' connections. Think about it. That's what Tristan's doing, isn't it? Think about it. That's what Tristan did. Pretended he liked well, I would say he pretended he liked Khloe, but Tristan don't even gotta pretend. He can be like, dum go get me some baby oil. I got chicks coming over. And Khloe will be on her phone in the Uber watching Jordan Peterson talking about some be his piece while she's going to be the head dum, right? But my whole point is, when Tristan thought that he had been cut, side note, I'm sorry, I just got to talk about this too. Do y'all remember when Tristan got benched because they found out he was using steroids? And I said, how are you a certified bench player? You are literally at this point a professional cheerleader for your team. You're always on the bench. What are you using steroids for? I guess you need that to keep that high booty up there. Like, literally, what are you? But anyway, I just thought that was funny, right? Anyway, but when he thought his career was over, remember, he stuck close to Khloe and he got that CNN sportscaster job, which I thought was interesting because Tristan at sometimes does not strike me as somebody that can read. So I said, did you memorize the lines or was it a teleprompter? Anyway, right? All the people around the Kardashians know that if they stick by close enough, they open up a lot of doors. The funny thing is, it seems like Corey, if these reports can be believed, bit off more than he could chew by literally trying to hold Kris's feet to the fire. Two things happen. One, you don't never let them know where you're coming. And now Kris knows what type of time Corey is allegedly on. But two, if this can be believed, you shot yourself in the foot because this whole thing about you got to pay me to go away, you pulled that out after everything else doesn't work. If you was really smart, what you would have did was, I would assume, right? Corey, you built like a gold digger. You need to start thinking like one. What you should have done is used all Kris's connections to get a job, to get work, to get whatever. And then once you get set up on your new life, right? Once you get your new apartment, once you do this, once you do that, then that's when you're like, yo, pay me my money. But instead, he did it all backwards. Now, some people could argue that Kris is not stupid. Kris knew by dating somebody 25 years her senior, she had to keep him on a short leash. And if Corey started trying to get his own job, trying to get his own money, trying to get like whatever, she would have known something was up. I mean, that's the thing with being a kept man, isn't it? Or a kept woman. You are there for their liking and for their amusement. And when you are no longer amusing and they don't like you, they send you away. Now, let's get back into the Kris thing. So where does this leave Corey? It leaves Corey with the fact that Kris has, and this according to reports, effectively blacklisted him, at least in Hollywood. Now, I know what somebody told me. Corey, when I was like, what does Corey do? Corey was the baby's tour manager, wasn't it? Is the baby touring now? And how? You cannot tell me that a tour manager is making more than the person touring. I'm not saying Corey is broke. I am saying that Corey does not have the money to maintain the lifestyle and the connections to maintain the lifestyle that Kris gave him and the lifestyle he enjoyed and the lifestyle where he was nibbling on Kris's neck when it looked like the turkey neck from Thanksgiving, literally, right? Giblets and whatnot, when he was nibbling on her neck, that he didn't have his eyes on the prize. All right. So where are we at, right? It looks like Corey played himself. It looks like by him demanding money so early, Kris is withholding the Hollywood connections. I know what you're saying. Corey might know a lot of people in Atlanta. Corey is Hollywood. He ain't been back to Atlanta since. And yeah, him picking up the baby from the airport like they going on a date does not count as him being Atlanta. Again, Corey likes Hollywood. Corey wants to be in Hollywood. Corey liked the perks of being Mr. Kris Jenner. And now, because Corey felt like ignored and threw a temper tantrum, Corey might be walking away with nothing, but even less than that, Kris has already removed any of her contacts because she does not want him to benefit. And it looks like, again, if I was Kris, what does it think Kris is doing? This is the outside looking in. Any of this can be believed. Corey wants a payoff. Maybe Kris will give the payoff of Corey actually being able to get a job outside of her. And she'll starve him out and ignore him so much that, and maybe even say, you can go against me, but you're going to be blacklisted in Hollywood. And we all know you love Hollywood. Yeah. Do y'all think Corey played himself, or do you think he has something else planned? Because to me, it sounds like Corey might have played himself. What do y'all think? This is developing. I'll tell you one thing. If we see any articles in the next week about Kris and Corey are fine, they love each other, even a stage photo op, baby, you know what's up. But if you see Corey driving down Melrose in a rented Ferrari with tear stains on his satin pajamas that he likes to call two-piece, baby, you already know. You already know. Anyway, y'all, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.